We have the story from the Wall Street Journal. Biden draws criticism after raising prospect of illegitimate 2022 election. White House says president wasn't casting doubt on midterm results. Let's not waste time. Joe Biden was asked about not getting through 2 bills which would overhaul the U.S. election system. He then said that he thinks the election in November would be illegitimate, which is an insane thing to say. Because if these bills have not been voted in now, then what's he saying about the 2020 election? Well, Jen Psaki comes out and she goes, let me be clear. He wasn't saying that the election would be illegitimate. He's saying what Trump did, blah, blah, blah. Because then Kamala Harris comes out and she goes, hold on there, let me finish. The election will be, and then she basically backed up Joe Biden. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have pushed the idea that the election will not be free and fair because they did not get through their complete voter overhaul.
Wow. It's like a child screaming when they don't get a candy bar.
How about this?
But he's the president.
How? Yes, absolutely. You want to talk about Trump arguing about voter fraud and stuff too. I'm not going to play these games. You can't come out and ban on YouTube discussion of Donald Trump's opinions and then not. So hold on there a minute. YouTube, I certainly hope you start enforcing this against all of the Biden supporters who are going to be saying this stupid nonsense.
So they say they don't want you to say that certain elections in the past have been rigged or whatever. That's kind of part of YouTube's events. But
this is
what about
future
of elections is okay to say, hey, maybe it's demoralizing to say that stuff, though, for the president to be like, this election's not going to be any good upcoming. People won't vote if you say that, dude. So don't say that.
I agree. And I, as well as many others, have been critical of Trump and many Trump supporters for telling people that there's effectively, by pushing the fraud narrative, it tells people not to bother. And then you see what happens in Georgia when the Democrats end up winning 2 seats they should not have won. But there were people outside who were saying there's no point, why bother? And it's like, you need to go vote, man. More importantly, you need to vote in the primaries. You got to vote in all your local elections. And then you got to make sure the establishment uniparty types are removed. And this is our opportunity. I have a feeling come, next December, I'm going to be very, very disappointed. But, for the time being, I'm going to be like, guys, primary everyone. Democrat, Republican, primary them all. And if you don't like any of that, vote Mises Caucus.
I think they see what's coming, right? They see that the midterms are going to be a total washout because people are not happy with Biden's policies. His approval rating is in the tanks. So they know the numbers. They have this internal data. So they're trying to see this narrative now, and they're going to be talking about this and pushing it for the next year so that when it happens, they can pull their whole Russiagate nonsense again. Well, the election was stolen. Somebody did something. And they might point at Gab, by the way, because we have almost 100 candidates in the 2022 race on our site that are organizing, raising money, building communities, etc. And I think we're going to be an underdog for this race, and we may get blamed for the red wave that is coming.
I have never said Donald Trump won the 2022 election. I have said in 2020, like in May and October, people are bringing this up, that Trump was right about certain issues pertaining to fraud, but that was before an election took place, and there was like CNN reporting on fraud and stuff, but not widespread fraud. I have no problem arguing with people like Steve Bannon, having those debates, and now we're at a point where the Democrats pulling a complete 180 and doing everything they complained Republicans were doing. And that's why I'm just like, you can't gaslight me. You can have this conversation. I can look into this. I can ask for evidence. But then when you come out and try and you think I'm stupid enough to believe that after a year or longer of you saying all of these things about Trump, then you start saying them. Sorry, it literally can't work. You must believe these people are dumb as a box of rocks. Unfortunately, some people are very dumb. But the narrative is not going to work anymore. This is also going to be a red pill moment for a lot of people. They're going to be like, wait a minute. Aren't the Democrats the ones claiming Trump was lying about fraud and then Trump claimed he won? And now they're already starting to push that same exact narrative? Yes, because they're liars. I think people are going to wake up to this and be like, hey, maybe the media is lying to me. I hope more people do, to be honest.
I feel like the brain of the American country got infected by like a parasite when the Federal Reserve performed their coup in 1913, and now it's like I'm looking at it like it's my wife who has a parasite in her brain, and I'm like, I love you, you are everything to me, but it's not her anymore. It's something else now, but I still love the corporeal form. What am I supposed to do? I want to extract the parasite. I want to reduce the Federal Reserve and create a new economy.
The best way to do that is by getting into things like Bitcoin. That is why they're freaking out. You see them starting to see this narrative right now. Hillary's coming out. Even Trump has come out against Bitcoin, right? Why is that? right? So people should start looking into that, because the way, I was talking about this before we started the show. Bitcoin is free speech money. Bitcoin is the only reason that Gab still exists right now, because in 2019, when we got banned from everything, payment processors, PayPal, everything, we were still able to accept Bitcoin. We didn't need permission from any bank. We didn't need permission from any corporation or any government to do that. That is how we take down the Federal Reserve.
That woman is a succubus, Ian. And just be careful. Watch out. She's going to take everything from you, including all of your money.
But she
leave
gave
you
me
indebted
everything
forever.
too. Okay, I'm sorry.
She still represents a great idea that should be protected at all costs. But to go on this kind of area when it comes to cryptocurrencies, I think this is why countries like Venezuela and Russia have been talking about developing their own cryptocurrencies. The U.S. Federal Reserve is also hinting that they may just create FedCoin. But just like anything, it's a technology, just like the internet. It could be used for good. It could be used for bad. And you guys were helped by it. Julian Assange was helped by it when he was debanked. Major banking institutions, Visa, MasterCard, attacked Julian Assange in WikiLeaks because the CIA ordered them to do so. They took down all of his accounts, and he was only able to raise money with Bitcoin, which made him a multi-millionaire. So, everything has a karmic way of working out in the world, and I think whether it's a psyop or not a psyop, cryptocurrency does represent a possibility of freeing people just like the internet did. We just have to hope it doesn't get corrupted.
It is like the monetary version of a free speech network.
Correct.
It is people's ability to bypass the establishment, their controls, their narratives. What I love most about Bitcoin is the stories about really weird and gross people who became millionaires and billionaires. It's just like the dude in 2011 who was like, I need a decentralized and secret currency to use. For what reason, I wonder? And now they're rich.
Dude, I had a guy sleeping on my couch who's a billionaire right now. I'm not even joking. With a B. And he was a bum. He was eating my macaroni and cheese, like microwavable, and then I shout out to you. I'm still shocked. People know exactly who I'm talking about. The dude was I was just like, dude, I let back in the day, if someone needed to stay somewhere, I was like, yeah, I stay at my place. This dude was overstaying his welcome like a mother. I was like, dude, maybe you could go stay at someone else's house.
Sounds like he's got time to pay back with interest, bro.
Remember,
times 10.
He didn't pay me back.
Remember when Max Kaiser, I think it was, gave Alex Jones 10,000 Bitcoin?
I was there.
They say Bitcoin is decentralized, but if you're at the top of it looking down at the blockchain, you're basically looking at a centralized system of nodes. So it's really centralized.
Not necessarily, no. At this point, over this many years, right, it has become so decentralized. And that is why, China has tried to overtake it with the mining and stuff, and they haven't been successful, right? Every attempt to take down Bitcoin, every time there's an article that comes out, Bitcoin is dead. Oh, it's tanking now. It's dead this time. There's actually a website that tracks this. It's been like hundreds of times over the past 13 years or whatever it is. That the reason that I trust Bitcoin so much is not only because it saved my own business, but also because no central authority controls it. There's not one government. And by the way, there are countries now, entire countries that are adopting Bitcoin, which is really telling. And when I see the establishment, both the left and the right, coming out and attacking it, that's when I know that it is the real deal. It is absolutely decentralized, and it is absolutely the only one that is decentralized. I'm a Bitcoin maximalist myself. I believe that Bitcoin is the thing that is going to end these things like the central bankers, the Federal Reserve, all these things. I think it's a matter of time.
Yeah. El Salvador implemented it
Correct.
as their kind of national currency, and the World Bank and the IMF started attacking them because of it.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And now they're doing financially, better than they were before. Yeah. They're allowing people to, of course, have the ability to transact with each other with cryptocurrency in a non-centralized way. What Venezuela and Russia have been developing is literally track, trace, and database surveillance coins. What El Salvador has been doing is completely different, and it's going to be a very important case in looking at how this is implemented on a national scale and the larger effects that it's going to have on their markets, which is truly fascinating. I was thinking about going down there and investigating it and possibly even moving down there. They're creating a tax-free business zone as well, which some people are saying is going to be the next kind of Singapore. Who knows if it will, if it won't, if Bitcoin will crash. No one knows. No one can predict that, but it certainly is providing a lot of opportunities outside of the mainline establishment system, which I think is absolutely great.
Just an aside, some people are saying Twitter is down.
Yeah,
Pulled
that's
up
what
my
I'm
phone.
looking at.
I can't check Twitter now.
Hey, Gab is not.
Let
Let me tell you. Let me take this opportunity to tell you, Gab.com.
Gab is up and running.
Well, so, with Biden making all of these statements, them trying to walk it back, Kamala Harris doubling down. Hopefully this double standard is a big smack in the face, figuratively, to a lot of people, among many other things, among the COVID lockdowns and the vaccine passports and all of that stuff. I don't know if I should be as hopeful that people pay attention, because when a good example is when Lauren Boebert tweeted that Biden said Trina Nana Shabbat pressure. She said Biden never, fulfilled his promise on Trina Nana Shabbat pressure. The left's response was her brain broke. What is she trying to say? Because they don't actually listen to what Joe Biden says. So if Joe Biden comes out and says this, they probably did not hear it. Only we did, because we're the ones paying attention. So you have people in this country who don't pay attention to what's going on and then go vote. And then you have people who do pay attention, and they're called conspiracy theorists. Yeah. Thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to watch live, you can check out this channel Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Now, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, and if you want more unfiltered and uncensored content with all of these guests, go to timcast.com and become a member. All of these guests you know and love in exclusive segments on our website, where we are unrestricted in what we talk about, so you'll definitely not want to miss it. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you all next time.